mean, we'll be here for a while. So
Yeah.
we're live, folks, and we've got a surprise for you. I'm joined by one of the original founders of this channel, the man who helped me build it brick by brick. Go ahead.
It's me, Triple M, and I am back, everyone.
See,
Hopefully,
there you go,
for
folks.
permanent.
All right, there you go, there you go. And we also have the second man who's helped me build this channel, brick by brick. Go ahead, introduce yourself.
Yes, this is Piggy Dog from Video Game Facts. Let's get this party started.
Yes. And later on, we will probably be joined by one of my good friends, Jewel Ryder, Moonstar, but she's not here right now, but she'll probably drop in at some point.
And maybe Dragon Sword.
And maybe Dragon Sword, maybe. So basically, this is BS Busters, and we're back again, like Backstreet Boys. We just don't go away. So the overall topic of this BS Busters is games that are bad that we love. But before we get to the main topic, let's get to some of the news of the week. Take it away, Pinky Don.
Why, yes. So Nintendo just recently announced a Smash Invitational and a Splatoon 2 Championship for E3 2018.
I'm guessing this is for the new Smash.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Let's see. What first revealed that they're gonna reveal that new Smash on that same invitational day.
Of course, people and this caused people to speculate that we might get a Smash Direct before E3 2018 because they can't expect the people who are participating in the invitational to
not be aware of some of the stuff. Yeah. You know what I think they're going to do? I think they're going to have, like, maybe they're going to have like a series of mini directs talking about the new one and probably introducing new characters. And what they'll probably have at E3 is like a build just for E3, just so that those people can fight, kind of like they did with Splatoon and Metro. With Smash 4 and Splatoon and Blast Ball from Metroid Prime Federation Force. And I'm okay with that. Like I'm totally cool. I'm all right with that.
Yeah, I'm expecting a demo build, not the full game.
Yeah,
Well, of course.
Yeah. Now, look, you guys have any thoughts on the next Smash Brothers?
Nope, not really.
Okay.
I'm just more anticipating who's gonna be in Smash and who's gonna be cut.
Well, I only have three concerns with the new Smash Brothers. Number one, I need a better single player story mode / adventure mode than what we had in Smash 4 for this game. First one. Number two, I need at least the same level or more customization options for levels and characters that we had in Smash 4 and Brawl. So I need to be able to. I mean, it'd be cool if they took it a step further and like you could choose which style of Link you want to play as. Like you can be Breath of the Wild Link, you can be classic 64 Link, you can be Twilight Princess Link, whatever you want, your choice.
But that would require revamping his moveset just to fit that.
I don't think so.
Not really.
I mean, I cannot imagine.
Let's think about it. In Breath of the Wild, almost all of the same moves are the same except for you don't have a hook shot. But he has a boomerang, he has bombs, he has a sword. A lot of the same sword moves are there. They're just done differently. I mean, the only thing you're missing is a hook shot.
Yeah, I would expect one way or the other.
But there's a possibility that it could be a revamp moveset to using the newer weapons from Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, but I don't think people would like that, and that's why I'm saying they should give us the option.
Well, actually, people will enjoy that because they think
No, people who've been using Link for years and years and years and are used to that move set, unless they do something wild with it, which is why I said it would be cool if they just let you choose which version of Link you want to play as.
But according to Game Explain's video, they do want the original 12 characters to have their movesets revamped because of how old they are and outdated they are.
I'll give him that. But we could. I'm just. I could expect either two things could happen. It could be either one. It's what Pinky Dong was saying. Everything could be revamped for the skin swap, or they could just. They might not do that at all and just do the skin swap, and people will call them out for it for being lazy. Say, well, pick your poison, people. Pick your poison.
The way I look at it, personally, I'm a traditionalist. I don't like people changing the core recipes of things. If I go to my favorite diner and they have meatloaf, I'm not your fucking experiment. I came here for the meatloaf that you've been making for the last 20 years. Don't change the recipe on me now. Okay.
Okay.
You're traditional. Then how come you want the Mario Party games to change?
Oh snap! You beat me to it. But I would say you might as well.
The reason I say the Mario Party games need to change is because by and large nothing has changed. There have been changes with Smash Brothers from iteration to iteration to iteration. They're subtle, they're slow, they're almost glacial, but they've been there. Like Donkey Kong, and when it first started on the 64, was slow as molasses, a powerhouse, but really, really, really slow. And then, Brawl came along and Donkey Kong got faster. Like, Donkey Kong was still slow in Melee, not like as slow as he was at 64, but he's still kind of slow. And then Brawl, they made him faster. And in 4, like, Donkey Kong's like one of the faster, heavier characters. Like, he's faster. I mean, he's like, he can tear shit up. They made his attacks a little less damaging. It's like I can notice the changes, and I'm not saying that no change is good, but I'm just saying that overall, I don't want drastic change. It's like, you go to your favorite burger joint, you go there, you order the same thing because you like the way they make it, and then they do something weird, and you take a bite, and it's like, what the fuck is this? This is not what I ordered. Like, I don't like that. So me personally, I don't really, and that's my personal opinion. I don't watch other people's videos, and even if they make a good point, I'm like, that's your opinion, you're entitled to it. But me personally, I prefer more traditional, like the new characters are for experimentation. The old characters are your core mechanic. It's like you expect it. It's like if you played a Street Fighter 2 game and Ryu had a completely different move set from what he's been using for the last, 20-some years. It'd be weird. It's like, what the fuck?
or you can use that example with Guile in Street Fighter 5.
Yeah, or how they fucked up in Bison's move set in Street Fighter 5. It's like, look, you can't change the core characters too much. And I know people are going to be like, I know Sakurai likes to troll people because that's what he does. Because really, Smash 4 feels like one giant troll from Sakurai in some ways. But
And what is your third?
My third is I just want to see some interesting new characters introduced that have weird movesets. Like, Cloud. I mean, like, if you look at Cloud in Smash, like, he has moves that you would think Cloud would have. But I want to see characters like they can have those weird muscle-bound guys in that weird Wii game where they're chasing a dude down and you got to make poses through the walls in order to have some weird characters like that with weird abilities. Because at this point, Smash Brothers just needs to have more wacky-ass characters.
Okay, man.
That's the one thing everyone agrees on. They want to see new characters with interesting playstyles and movesets.
When you were saying that, I was like, man, why is Ultimate Muscle was popping in my head? But hey, that's an anime.
Yeah, it was basically this game felt like it was a ripoff of the Cho Aniki series, which is, I call it the gayest video game ever, because basically, like, the first game you had a girl and a guy as playable characters, but after that it's just you're this muscly dude in a Speedo shooting shit out of your head at enemies that either vaguely look like gay dudes or penises. It is the gayest game ever. It's hilarious to play though, because it's just to stream for people to watch you playing it, because everything is just, it's just really gay. It's really really
just
gay.
out. It's just basically in your face. It literally slaps you in your face.
Like you fight this boss, and it's this mechanized dude walking on like mechanical legs with a human upper body, and then as you do damage to it, the thing opens where its crotch is, and this thing comes out that first looks like a dick, and then it turns out to be like this energy weapon that shoots white stuff at you, white energy beams, and it's like, come on, we know what you're doing here,
like I said, that thing it literally slaps you in your face, and
yeah.
it doesn't care what it slaps you with.
Yeah, and I mean, I have to say this. I'm so happy that with the first Cho Aniki, I think you can get it on the Wii eShop. You guys might be able to still get some games for the Wii eShop, I guess. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, the first Cho Aniki you could play as a girl or a guy, and the guy didn't look too gay, and the girl didn't. The girl looked okay. But after that, they were like, "Fuck it, we got to go more gay." So so you're these buffed up, oiled up Japanese bodybuilder dudes with Speedos. I'm like, damn, bro,
That's it. You know what? Let's drop everything. Literally on the notation, drop everything.
Yeah, and they took the rag off the bush, as they say. But anyway, enough about Cho Aniki. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be Cho Aniki, but like wild ass characters. Like they should get characters from Nintendo's past that you just never thought would be in a fighting game, like Mayor Wright. Mayor Sim from The Sims, from SimCity 2000 on the Super Nintendo. I know that's technically an EA property, but he was created specifically for that game, so he might be a Nintendo character.
Or that kangaroo mascot from from Nintendo's series of toy mini games before they made video games themselves.
Or Starfy. They could get Starfy as a character. That'd be an interesting character to play.
That too.
Because Starfy's is Hal's other mascot, except I think the Starfy games have a little bit more depth than Kirby games. Personally, that's just my own personal opinion. But just a little bit. To me, they're a little bit more in depth than Kirby. But that's neither here nor there. Yeah, I really think that Smash Brothers needs they need to kick it up a notch, as they say. Or two.
Well, let's see. With Nintendo's recent actions on taking down videos of their game from other YouTubers, there's a chance that they might bring back the story mode. Since that way there'll be no spoilers. No one has to spoil.
I think Sakurai did that as a troll, and I think two things. I think that game really had to come out at a certain time, and it would have taken more time for
something would have. Yeah, some things had to be cut.
Yeah, and the story mode got cut. I mean,
because gamers were so impatient.
Yeah, they were because gamers bitched. I don't think it was the spoilers, because that was part of the fun of Subspace Emissary, was seeing, well, how are they gonna? Why is this character doing this? Like, who is the Dark Emissary? It turned out to be Rob the Robot. How are they basically creating all of these clones to attack people? It was Mr. Game & Watch. Like, it was just a very interesting story, and like how they introduced different characters. Like, why is King DDD going against the other like normal villains of Smash Brothers? Oh, it turns out DDD thought something shady was going on the entire time, and was and created these badges to keep people from being turned into trophies permanently. So there was actually some really cool stuff going on there, and then they made Smash 4, which has no story mode to speak of, really. I mean, it kind of has a story mode and adventure mode, but it's kind of shitty. It's only a few steps above what we had on the 64, and not enough to even be melee or to be melee level. But you know, it is what it is. Yeah, I think Sakurai was just. I think he was like, look, this game has to come out at this time because we gotta have a major game out for the system. It's still a competently made game, but I mean, if this game has a shitty story mode like 4 does, I'm not getting it. Even if it has excellent multiplayer, because like multiplayer's been good for the last 2 games. Like at this point, like just good multiplayer isn't good enough. I'm sorry, it's just because they all are fun games to play with your friends, you know.
Well, it seems like 5 million people actually thought it was good enough.
I know, but you know,
I digress.
I
You're right,
mean,
but
you know,
you're right.
I mean, like let me put it this way: once you like, I think at this point they've gotten the multiplayer down, right? Like, I mean, I know people have their issues with Brawl, but with Smash 4, you cannot say the multiplayer was really good. The online connectivity was good. The gameplay, the online was good. Like that was good. So at this point, now that they've nailed that, there's other aspects that need to be worked on, like that single player, really,
Now,
really badly.
now here's the thing with me. I really didn't mind about the omission, just because well, I kind of look at it from of a franchise. If you don't have anything from the first iteration of the game, then yes, I'd be very miffed about it. Speaking of which we've we've kind of made an example of this game for far too long, but it seems like it's in this case, or
It's like a zombie; it just won't stay
it's like
dead.
yeah, because it seems like it's like everything that comes up. Oh, this dude, this game, it's still be making an example. Street Fighter Five, the
Yeah,
vanilla version.
yeah, like core characters were missing, or they messed up the move sets. Like, here's the thing: Smash Brothers has never done that, and I give credit to that. Like, the core characters pretty much play the same. Yeah, they changed Mario's moveset a little bit. They changed characters' movesets a little bit, but generally speaking, they're
Also,
familiar.
yeah, I would say with Mario, they changed Mario Sims Brawl with the whole tornado move. Yeah,
Yeah, but that tornado move was cheap. I mean, oh
and
god,
they made it cheaper after that.
yeah, that shit was cheap as hell. I'm glad they fixed that or nerfed it a little bit. But I mean, I think the key to Smash Brothers being a good game is that every character has at least 1 or 2 cheap ass moves to balance it out. Like everyone's got something that's cheap. Like Link, if you know what you're doing, Link can friggin' jump off the edge, pull out a bomb, throw it at your ass, and then while you're trying to get to the edge, and then spin
The hook
dash
shot.
back.
But yeah, either that or use the hook shot.
Yeah, the hook shot. Like every character has a cheap ass move, and that kind of balances that out for everybody. Because I mean, there's gonna be characters that just are kind of like not well balanced gameplay wise. But if everyone's got a cheap move, like Luigi with that up close coin punch attack, that if you have enough damage is like a 1-hit KO.
or Rob's Gyromite.
Yeah, Rob's Gyromite. I mean, it's just everyone should have at least one cheap ass move just to keep them competitive. But that's neither here nor there.
Any now for some other news, Capcom just announced a new Street Fighter live action TV series.
Yeah.
As well as revealing the poster for the Mega Man cartoon that they announced back 2 years ago, I believe.
Say hallelujah!
Yeah, a new live action Street Fighter series is cool. That Mega Man series just does not look.
Oh no!
Good at all.
I wish you didn't mention about Mega Man, because that news was like there's the upside, then there's that downside.
Well, here's the sad thing about that about that cartoon is that the Mega Man in the cartoon doesn't even look like the Mega Man in the Mega Man 11 that they're coming out with. He doesn't even look like the new Mega Man.
It is sad to say that I'm not surprised, because how many times Mega Man has been redesigned outside the video games? Like with
what? I wouldn't Wait, there was a redesign of Mega Man outside of the game besides this one?
He hasn't really been redesigned. Like the original Mega Man hasn't been redesigned all that much. X has gone through little.
I'm talking about stuff like the bad box art Mega Man, the original 90s Mega Man.
Yeah, but the bad box art was just the bad box art was because no one knew, like the people who were doing the box art here in America didn't know what Mega Man looked like. Like all they had was a written description, and so they basically did the best with what they could, and it became kind of like a
parody.
Like a parody. It became kind of like a running joke since then. But really, like, I mean, in terms of like cartoons, Mega Man has pretty much been consistently looked a certain way. Even though the Japanese manga for anime for Mega Man, he looks like a kid robot. In the American version of Mega Man, from Ruby Spears, he looks more like just a dude, like a teenager. So I mean, the art style was different, but you still knew it was Mega Man. He's still all blue.
It still had some similarities with each other. Exactly.
Yeah, they still. I mean, you could still tell it was Mega. How's it going, Joel?
And she has arrived.
The lady has arrived. How's it going, Joel?
Fine, thank you.
Yeah, we started a little bit early because Triple M is here, and when Triple M is here, he's in another country, far away from the rest of us. So we're like, look, when the man is here, we gotta start a little bit early sometimes for him.
Oh, really? I thought we're just 3 hours apart from each other. Or maybe my geography is wrong.
No, we might be 3 hours, but you also have the infrastructural things and stuff like that on the island where you're at and stuff. So, ironically, I know where you live now because basically my mom went on a cruise and they landed at the port where your island is. Yeah, she's like,
we're getting known.
So I was like, oh shit. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Basically, yeah, I'm just angry that the new Mega Man doesn't really, like, I know what they're going for. Like, they probably went with a slightly cheaper studio, and so they probably went for an art style that was kind of like easier for them to get out, like 52 episodes or 23 episodes or whatever.
Okay, I gotta stop you. I gotta stop you right there, Red. Because if saying by that easier, that means shouldn't this redesign should be like simpler, like how Mega Man has always been? Well,
yeah.
I was just trying to give them the benefit of the doubt, but it's Capcom, so let me slap myself for trying to give Capcom the benefit of the doubt. There we go.
I wouldn't slap you for that because I'd be doing that same thing, but this redesign is too complicated. Looks like it's too complicated.
And according to the synopsis, Dr. Wily is not the main villain, nor is he.
Yeah, they messed up right there. Like Dr. Wily is Mega Man's main villain. Just like Mega Man X's main villain is Sigma.
Instead, it's an OG villain.
Why is it that the best Mega Man cartoon we've had to date that was Mega Man in America was the Ruby Spears one, which wasn't even that good, but it had a cool theme song, so that's all that really mattered.
Memories.
Like here's what young people don't understand. In our age group, as long as you had a cool theme song, the cartoon could be shit, but the theme song got our ass. It was like, man, it's theme song though.
That wasn't true for me.
As much as I hate that Zelda cartoon, it had a pretty good theme song. I gotta give him that.
Yeah. Like Mega Man, that theme song was so cool. It was so rocking,
Yeah, definitely. Let's say definitely named that.
The song was so good that it referenced in the Smash 4 Invitational back in 2014.
Yeah, fighting to save the world. Oh shit! Why are you screaming "world"? It sounds cool. But
Extreme, baby.
Yeah. Like, here's the thing: all we needed was a good theme song. Like, if you had a good theme song, we would watch that shit. Like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the first thing you heard was the theme song, and it got us. We're like, oh, I'm done. I'm done. That's all I need. Power Rangers had a cool theme song. I wasn't into
Depends on
Power
the
Rangers.
season.
The Power Rangers, okay, the original Morphin Power Rangers had a good theme song. I don't know about the other ones because I stopped watching after the first 2 seasons. I was like, I'm done.
Bullshitter.
I did. I mean, but here's the thing. Most of the seasons in Power Rangers kind of riff off of the original Morphin, Mighty Morphin. Generally speaking, like out of every 10 movies, most of them in America. Now in Japan, they all have different theme songs because it's Japan and they do their own thing. But in America, yeah.
I was going to rip on you for some of that because only during most of the Neo Saban era would you actually be able to get away with that line.
See, she's a hardcore fan because she actually is talking about like people are like, well, when it went to Disney, the theme songs changed a little bit. Like listen, I said after Morphin, I'd watch episodes sporadically because I'd be a student in high school and in college, and I'd be like, yeah, I don't really want to do my homework. I think I'm gonna watch a little bit of this.
Believe it or not, those are treats during Friday nights for me.
It was like, yeah, I'm gonna watch this. But moving on
to another news. Super Mario Odyssey did not win the Kids' Choice Awards favorite video game.
Who did?
Just
Okay.
Dance.
What?
It was Just Dance.
Just Dance.
Just Dance, really?
Yeah, from what I've been told, it's been winning. From what I've been told, has been winning that category since 2011.
You know what that means?
Wait.
Ubisoft gave them a lot of money.
Wait, you mean to tell me Just Dance been winning that since 2011, years straight?
And here's what I want to know: is Ubisoft a sponsor of the Kids' Choice Awards? Probably. And if they are, then that means that's a bought and paid for advertisement for Ubisoft. Yeah.
And this was
They had a lot of money for that, though.
And this was despite the fact that they had its own Super Mario Odyssey segment where they have 2 teams competing against each other on New Donk City to collect as many Power Moons as possible.
Yeah, I mean, it's an advertisement, okay? And listen, Ubisoft's got to do whatever they need to do in order to sell their shitty games. So whatever.
But that's a low blow to get a sell.
I'm
they
guessing
do it quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm probably thinking Just Dance won because it is the only game that you can actually move around to play.
Well, I mean, to be fair, here's the thing. Here's the thing, okay? Like, it's the Kids' Choice Awards. I'm just saying it sounds okay. I would say just on an objective level, Super Mario Odyssey is a better game than Just Dance.
But on the bright side, at least Star Wars Battlefront 2 didn't win.
Well, that game doesn't deserve to win shit. Like literally, if you went and picked up a dog turd and said, "This is the final product," and put it in a bag, and Battlefront wouldn't deserve to win that. Literally, couldn't win shit.
You know what? I have to agree with that.
Forget that game. I hate that game. I hate. I've basically not bought an EA game since Mass Effect Andromeda, and I got that for $30 on sale, and I'm angry because now you can get it for like $10, $12 brand new physical for PC.
Dang it, Brett! You should have waited a bit longer.
I know.
Just a little.
When I saw that sale, I was like, damn it! If I had just waited another month. I was pissed off. And I don't think Anthem's going to do well either, but that's neither here nor there. Pinky, give us another topic.
Why did someone...
Pinky, go on.
Why does everyone suddenly stop talking?
No, I said, Pinky, give us another topic. Yeah,
okay.
I said, give us another topic, and you just said, why did everyone stop talking? I was like, you're feeding us topics.
Well, let's see. There's nothing else apart from a sneak peek, a 2-page sneak peek of the Arms comic book that's coming on free comic book day on May.
All right.
Sounds like a good idea there.
And that's about it. Outside of the whole Ubisoft avoiding the buyout.
Yeah, they avoided Vivendi devouring them. Basically, Vivendi got a payout to not try and buy any more Ubisoft. And now those shares were bought up by Tencent, which is a Chinese company which makes those shitty Chinese app games. And they also own WeChat and IK and weird shit like that. Basically, they went from one shitty company to another shitty company. So gamers like, we won, you didn't win shit.
Yeah,
I had to at least give them credit for saying that, yay, we got our game fixed. And then I just wonder, okay, where was all effort to see the game fixed when it was first coming out?
Which game are you talking about?
Oh, burn. Wasn't that Assassin's Creed? Is that The Division? I think I'm missing something else.
There's so many games.
Your pick.
There's so many games. Like I recently got a friend of mine bought a new graphics card, and it came with like 3 games, and she gave me 2 of them because she already has 2 of them. Like 2 of the 3 games that were there. Like she gave me the code for them. So I recently got Watch Dogs 2. It's an okay game. Yeah, it's an okay game, but I mean, it's like this game is so basic. Like, here's the problem with Ubisoft: their games are either off the wall or so basic that it's boring. Like Watch Dogs is basically like Watch Dogs feels like a shittier GTA. You know what I mean? Like it's like,
you know what? That's definitely the consensus that's going around in the community.
Yeah, it's like, hey man, you want to play GTA, but you don't want to like actually have a wide array of music stations to listen to and interesting characters to interact with, and like a protagonist. Like I'll give it this much: the main protagonist in Watch Dogs 2 isn't as shitty as the main protagonist from the first Watch Dogs, but it's still not a very good game. But it's so much better than the first one that I think people gave it kind of a pass. But I got it for free, so I can't get too angry, you know. I can't get too mad, you know. It was free, so I can't be like, man, if I'd have paid, I didn't pay anything for it, so I can't really. That and Far Cry, I want to say Far Cry 4. Yeah, it was that and Far Cry 4. So.
You mean Primeval Far Cry?
No, it was Far Cry 4.
Oh, it's just cool. Okay.
Yeah, like the games that came with it were like Tomb Raider, it was like 4 games you could choose. She chose 3 of them because she had 2 of them already, and the one that she already had, like the version that they offered was like the complete version, and she didn't have all the DLC for that one, so that's the one she got. And the other 2 she already had, so she was like, you can use them, like. Because she games more on PC more than I do. Like I game on PC for shit that doesn't come to console. She games on PC because that's all she got. All she has is PC, which isn't a bad way to go. I mean, if you want a wide swath of games and you don't mind not having Nintendo games,
yeah, PC's the way to go.
PC's the way to go. Yeah. We have a topic here from Dragon Swords 15, which is guilty pleasures or games that are infamous that don't deserve to be that way.
I can't think of any. Oh, wait a minute. Is games that you've played, or it could be
games that you've played that you enjoy that are like a guilty pleasure or they're infamous, but you enjoy it, but they don't deserve to be that way. Like they actually have some redeeming feature.
Oh, dang it.
But isn't that also games that are bad that we love?
Yeah, but I think he put it in a better way.
All right. Let's see. For me, it's gonna be the Glover game for the N64.
Yeah, but that's not a bad game. It just has kind of awkward controls, but it's not bad. I don't think.
Well, at least it got that one aspect that could have done better. But yeah.
That is.
Oh, I was just talking about your choice,
Oh,
Pinky.
yeah.
No, I mean the problem with Glover is that it came out way too late in the N64's life cycle, and there were like the N64. If you wanted a 3D platformer, the N64 was your console because there was tons of them. You had Glover,
Tons of them.
you had Sprocket Robot on Wheels, you had Banjo Kazooie, Banjo Tooie, Conker's Bad Fur Day, Mario 64, Donkey Kong Country 64. And those are just the ones that immediately come off my head. There were like maybe like 5 or 6 others on top of that.
Don't forget Gex.
Yeah, Gex, the Gecko. No, there were 2 Gex games. There was Gex, the Gecko, and then there was the Gex 3. I don't know what happened to Gex 2. I don't know.
Yeah, I was mentioning the franchise though.
There was a Gex 2 though. That
it was on Game Boy
pretty
Color.
Weird.
It was kind of shitty. Yeah, it wasn't a very good game.
I
Gex
say
64 was pretty good.
weird.
Yeah, Gex 64. To tell you the truth, Gex, the better Gex game was actually the 3rd one. Like the first one's okay, but it feels like a standard platformer. The 3rd one actually had you have little special abilities associated with like what level you were on. So like you had this level where you were like a giant mechanized kaiju fighting monsters in a city, and it was like the levels were kind of interesting. They need to bring back Gex. Gex was a cool mascot.
You're not the only one.
That's the weird thing. I actually would agree with you on that because Gex has that kind of attitude that works well, especially when put against other areas that he's put into.
That's because a comedian actually did his lines. Dana Gould. It's like, is Cheech and or Chong in the building? Cheech and or Chong. But anyway, yeah, I liked Gex 64. But I mean, Gex 3 is a much better game in my opinion. Plus, like the whole going into TVs and stuff like that. They could, if they did a new Gex, they could have them go into the internet, not just TVs. He'd go into the internet, so that'd be cool.
Oh God, help his soul.
No, this would be rated. This would be rated E for everyone. So he's not going that far to the internet, folks. But
some of his restricted access.
Yeah, he's not going that far to the internet. But I think it would be cool. Like he goes into a kung fu martial arts site and like where you learn kung fu, and that's how you learn new special abilities. That'd be cool. But that's neither here nor there. So who wants to name their guilty pleasure games that people don't like, but you love it, and it has some type of redeeming feature?
I'll go last.
See, I already mentioned Glover, so.
Glover. Okay, do you have one, Jewel?
Probably one that's already infamous enough at least, but I would say Mario Party series, but my entry would be about number 4.
Okay, but I mean the Mario Party games aren't bad. They just feel kind of stale by now because there's so many of them.
Yeah, that's I said by what I think of with the series as of now, since it's mostly been downsized. So I actually thought this would be kind of like one of those games that are liked and hated at the same time.
I mean, they're fun, but yeah, I get what you're saying. Okay, so I guess it's my turn since Triple M wants to go last. Let's see.
I still can't remember one that is kind of like a guilty pleasure. But you go ahead.
I've got 3. None of these games are really good, but for some reason I like to play them. Okay. The first one is Lester the Unlikely. Now I was tricked into buying this game.
Unlikely?
Yeah, Lester the Unlikely. I was tricked into buying this game because of marketing in game magazines. They were like, "Hey, it's got rotoscoping," and we took pictures of people and then we put it into the game. I was a little kid. I'm tricked into buying it. But when I finally got it, what they don't tell you is that this game is kind of like a flashback or Prince of Persia for the SNES, except in more modern times. and it's an adventure game. Like you pick up items in order to solve puzzles and stuff like that. But it's also got some action sequences that kind of suck. But for some reason, I like this game. It's not very good, but I like it.
But isn't that game considered a cult classic?
What, Lester the Unlikely? Oh, hell no. It's not very good at all, but I like it. It's just like the hit detection is kind of hard. The controls are kind of stiff. It's kind of hard to play.
I thought hit detection was atrocious.
Well, bad game design all over.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It's like the controls are stiff. The platforming kind of sucks. But for some reason, like when you get in a role in the game and you finally get used to the flaws and you start actually playing well, it just feels good. Like they're like, okay, in the beginning of the game, you're Lester, and Lester is a nerd and he's afraid of everything. So in the beginning of the game, like he sees a crab, he runs away from the crab. He sees a turtle, he runs away from the turtle. His attack is this little shitty kick. It doesn't even kill anything. It just like it kills the crab, but the turtle just hides in its shell and he sneaks past it. And then through the first half of the game, he's like this total nerd. And like he gets weapons, solves puzzles, and then at the very end of the game, like halfway through the game, he saves this girl who's the daughter of of the chieftain of the tribe that's being assaulted by pirates, and she gives him a kiss. He gets courage, and he actually starts running like a normal person. He actually starts playing like a platformer, and so it's like everyone says, oh, that's just bad game design. But there's a point that the game design up to that point is so bad because it's to show you that the kid's a nerd and he's not very athletic and he just doesn't have any self-confidence. And then when he finally gets some self-confidence, the game plays a lot better. Like you run faster, you can run farther, you can jump farther, you can actually the controls get better.
Gameplay design.
Yeah.
So if anything, people are gonna groan about it because
most people aren't willing to stick with it.
Character development is going to be into it, and I'm not sure how many people realize how much character development is in games.
Yeah, most people are not going to stick with it to the halfway point, and that's why I say it's one of those games where, yeah, the controls kind of suck in the beginning, but they're kind of supposed to. They were made intentionally to be that way in the beginning, because once you get to the halfway point, the character plays a lot better. Like, the game still isn't great, though, but compared to what it was in the beginning, night and day.
You know what? That is a rather cool concept.
Yeah. The second game that I chose is Iden Chronicles: The First Mage for the N64, which I have because I'm an insane person. No, I have it because I'm one of those people who loves RPGs, and I didn't have a PS1 at the time because I just refused because of all of, like, I got angry at all of the SNES publishers that left the Nintendo like RPG publishers. So I refused to buy a PS1, and I didn't. Like all throughout the 5th gen, I did not buy a PS1. I did not buy a PS1 until the PS2 had come out.
Which is a lot of determination, considering how hard it was to actually enjoy yourself without RPGs.
Well, I found a way because I have all of the RPGs that came to the N64. Like I have, and I mean, it's not a huge list. It's very small. There's Gauntlet Legends, kind of. There's Ogre Battle 64, which is definitely an RPG. There's Hybrid Heaven. There's Quest 64, which is a piece of shit. And then there's the sequel to Quest 64. It was made by the same studio. And it's so much better than Quest 64 that I have to give them props for it. Iden Chronicles: The First Mage. Like Quest 64, you have pseudo turn-based combat, but it's like it's kind of like how it was in Quest 64, where like you have an area of movement, and then you can move around in that area of movement in order to do attacks, and then enemies attack you. But the thing is like in this game, it's an RPG. You have levels, you have skills, which you can level up to make your character better at doing certain things. Like let's say you're a thief, you have the thieving skill. You can level that up so that your backstab attacks do more damage, or you can you can level up your lock picking so you can pick locks. You can level up your ranger skill so that like you can camp out in the middle of the woods and enemies won't sneak up on your ass. Or you can level up your herb gathering so you can find more herbs. Your mining skill so you can find more like
Gold.
well, not gold, but like gemstones and stuff that you can use for crafting or for just to sell shit. So I mean, the game, like for what they were able to do on a cartridge, like this game could have been a okay RPG on the PS1, but it turned out to be an okay game on the a relatively good second game from the same people that made Quest. Although the game, it's goddamn. It didn't. The game kind of like the later half of it, the later third of it feels kind of rushed because they had a limited amount of space. But for what they were able to do with the limitations, the game's pretty good. Like you have a decent array of enemies. You have tells a decent story. It has decent gameplay mechanics. Graphically, it's not great, but if you have the memory booster, it's fine.
Oh, the expansion pack.
Yeah, the expansion pack, it's fine. So, I mean, yeah, I like the game. The only downside is that you need a memory card in order to play it. So at the time, I didn't have a memory card, so I had to leave my system on for years and years and years for a long time.
Yikes.
No, it's okay. I had a TV in the basement that I could play all my games on, and no one ever cared that I would just leave it on for a long time. Like no one gave a shit, so it was good. I was fine. That's how I beat Quest 64. Quest 64, you need a memory card in order to
advance.
In order to save, you need a memory card. So I just left it on, and that's how I beat the game.
I couldn't get past the very beginning of that game when I first played it when I was little one of my cousin's house.
Yeah, it's a hard game. Because it's so different from normal RPGs. It's not turn-based. You don't get money. There's a limited amount of restoration items in the game. So you have to save them and not use them at all when you don't have to. Iden Chronicles: The First Mage, pretty damn good. And here's what I'll say about Quest 64. The game sucks up until the final boss. It's like they were like, yeah, we know this game sucks. We know this game sucks, but stick with it. And then at the very end, you get one of the most awesome boss battles ever, and with cool boss battle music. Just if you don't believe me, put in Mammon Boss Battle Quest 64 OST. It's some really awesome boss battle music. That shit could have been in Final Fantasy. That's how good it is.
Yeah, I gotta listen to that.
Yeah, it's very good. Yeah, and my third game is another kind of, this game's not very good, but I just enjoy it, and it's for it's another SNES classic. Yeah, the game is called Chuck Rock.
What? Really, Chuck Rock?
Yeah, Chuck Rock. You're this caveman named Chuck whose wife has been kidnapped by this T-Rex. And basically, like, Chuck Rock can kick enemies. He's this fat, kind of pot-bellied caveman. He can kick enemies. He's got, like, a belly bump. But his strongest attack is that he can pick up rocks and throw them. Hence, Chuck Rock. And it's not very good, but I just like playing the game. It's kind of a ripoff because there's only like 8 levels in the game. Like there's like one level, there's 2 levels per stage. So like the first stage you're in the jungle, the second stage you're in the caves, the third stage you're in like the icebergs, like the Arctic shelf or something like that, and then the third stage you're in the boneyard. And that's the game. And it's like a $50-$60 game at the time. Like, I feel bad that I begged my parents to buy me that game because it's not worth, like, it's 8 levels long, but they're not long levels. And the hit detection kind of sucks. But for some reason, I just like the game.
Okay. Well, it seems, it seems like I remember a game that was, I think it was kind of a guilty pleasure to me, even though this game really do suck. Now, at first, I would have chosen Star Fox Zero because everybody hated most people would hate that game, but no, this one is actually really, really freaking bad. It's an NES game um oh crap, I forgot this company's name. But the game is called TNC Surf Designs Wood and Water Rage. It's it's your skateboard slash surf game. And boy, I was really bad at that game, but for some reason, I still enjoy it. I guess because I was into skateboarding back then.
Just like how with Clover, that even though I've been enjoying that game, I have yet to finish that game at all. Because I've been stuck on about the first three worlds. So I was unable to to see the jungle levels and the space levels.
Right, right. Well, even though with this game I was so bad at it because well actually yeah it was basically a rental, but I've seen one of my cousins actually played that game and he was rocking that game. Well, at least the skateboarding part of the game. From that on, when I saw that, I was hooked. I just wanted to emulate what he was doing in that game. Nope, no, I couldn't do it. And
There's some things you can't just mimic.
yeah, and if you think I was bad at the skateboarding part, man, the surfing was really out of control. Um, Majority of the time I didn't even know what the bloody hell I had to do in that one.
Oof.
What system was this for?
It was for the NES.
What game was this? Surf or Die? Skate or Die?
I would say Skater Die is even better than that one. No, it's TNC Surf Designs
Oh
with
yeah,
Water Rage.
yeah. I remember hearing about. Oh man, that game. Oh Jesus. There were a lot of games like that for the NES though, where it's like I don't know. Even with the seal of approval, this game is kind of shitty.
That's it. Well, I guess it was that was bad at it because well at that time a lot of people basically lost the instruction manuals.
Oh yeah. If you were renting games back in the day, like no one kept the
You're
instruction
SOL.
manuals. Yeah. Like you'd go. It's like especially if you rented something like Star Tropics or it's like an RPG where you needed the instruction manual to know what the hell was going on. We lost it. How the hell do you? Fuck. Make a copy.
Yeah.
I swear, if Nintendo
Well,
wants to make some money, here's just a brief tangent, if you will. Nintendo, you want to make some money? Why don't you make instruction manual for your games, but sell them separately for like $5?
that would be a good idea.
Make a little
Well,
bit of extra money.
but if you heard the whole legal battle with them against Blockbuster, yes, the instruction manuals were were part of the sue that Nintendo actually won.
I think they really should just make. I think they really should do that though. Just have like.
Yeah, I bet they could sell as much as the what was it, the strategy guides. But yeah, uh, I guess that's the only game that I actually felt like some sort of guilty pleasure.
Hmm. Anything else, or can we move on to the next topic? Any other game that you felt like, man, this game is not very good, but I enjoy it?
Nope.
Okay, then. So I guess we can move on to the second topic, which is I call it the outrage topic. So who here has a bone to pick about something that people have been saying? You can pick one. It's so stupid. You just have to call attention to it. Who wants to go?
I'll go first.
Okay.
The whole third-party game that's being ported onto the Switch equals that character from that game is going to be coming to Smash.
Oh God!
Yeah, they've been doing this for years,
I can
though.
really go for this one.
They've been doing this for years. They did that with Smash 4. Oh man, that means Final Fantasy VII Remake is coming to a Nintendo console. And after I finished laughing my ass off, literally, I had to go get my ass.
Yeah, that struck a nerve on me as well.
Yeah, after I remember having my laughing my ass off, I literally had to go and find my ass and then reattach it.
I will have to say,
That's one of the things I usually have happen with me.
I have to admit, I was one of those culprits that actually thought, well, Cloud is in Smash, but if Square Enix would make a good deal with Nintendo, they might actually do something with have a Final Fantasy game, or should I say, to be specific, a Final Fantasy VII game on a Nintendo console. But
there's a problem with that logic because Snake got in Brawl. Does that mean that a Metal Gear game is coming to the Wii? No.
Yeah, but there was a Metal Gear game on the GameCube. So yes. There was some precedent. There was Snake Eater on the GameCube. So you could say, okay, there was a Metal Gear game on the system. Plus the original Metal Gear Solid, the one on the NES, not the MSX one, which is the better one, came to the NES. And Metal Gear 2, Snake's Revenge, which really has nothing to do with the first one. It was made by the American Konami company, but whatever.
Yeah, people thought that.
And also, don't forget about that other Metal Gear Solid. I think it was a remake for I forgot which one on the 3DS.
You mean Snake Eater?
Yeah, well, that was a port. Yeah, that was a port of Snake Eater. So I mean, like, my point is that Metal Gear games have been on Nintendo consoles. Final Fantasy VII has never fucking been on a Nintendo console, and it never will be on a Nintendo console. You know,
not as long as there's idiots in Square Enix.
As long as Square Enix signed that deal with Sony with their first child's blood, you're never going to see that game hit a Nintendo console. So,
you wouldn't think that contract would expire? I mean, yeah, probably that had to be renewed. But at some point.
Let me put it this way: Sony has sold all of their controlling interest in Square Enix, and Square Enix still has a stick up their ass about putting games on Nintendo consoles. Think about that.
Yeah, I'm seeing that. I'm seeing that.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm not really.
Heck, to be honest, I didn't even mind if the original Final Fantasy VII, the PlayStation 1 version would be on a virtual console. But yeah, probably that was expecting too much from Square.
Hey, you know what the irony is? That game originally started as a N64 game, and then they ported it over to the PS1.
That if anything, there was at least a chance that Square could have made up for a lot of their mistakes by just giving us at least the Final Fantasies of 7, 8, 9, and maybe 10.
No, man, they can keep 10. They can keep 7 too.
And now keep 8. You're continue.
I was saying that if anything, they could have made a piecemeal and give us at least 7 through 10 at least to at least give us that much of the Final Fantasy world before getting into the trash Final Fantasies.
Yeah,
which they could keep.
I have a question. Why are you expecting good business sense from Square Enix?
I'm just hoping that somebody in their right mind will actually consider the idea.
That's
all I'm just hoping.
Good business sense from Square Enix is just.
But guess what?
Oxymoron. That's like military intelligence.
You're also forgetting that Nintendo has to publish Square Enix's games to the overseas because Square Enix refuses to publish them themselves.
Yeah, because they don't think they'll sell that well. Yeah.
But guess what? At least Capcom finally made the right decision of bringing what was it again? Okami on Switch.
Yeah, but let me put it this way, okay? You can get Okami on the original PS2. You can get it on the Wii. You can get the second game in the series, like a derivative iteration of it, Okamiden for the DS. You can get Okami HD on the PS3. Is it on the Xbox 360?
I believe so.
I think it came to the 360, but it bombed spectacularly because Dude Bro gamers don't want that fucking game. Too much color. But
Tinky Winkies.
Like basically, you can get that game on a lot of platforms. If like anyone who really wants to play Okami already fucking has the game, okay?
Yeah,
And I say this
true.
as someone who has the game. I have two versions of the PS2 version. I have the Wii version. I have the HDified PS3 version. So that's 4. And I'm probably gonna get it for my Switch. So that's 5. I've bought Okami so many fucking times. They should have put this game should have been on the Wii U. Okay, but it's Capcom. What do you expect? Capcom.
So continuing on my ranting, with Smash 5 around the corner, it's been cranked up to 11. Undertale's coming to Switch, which means Sans gonna be in Smash. The Crash and Sting Trilogy is coming to Switch, which means Crash is gonna be on Smash.
I'll tell you this much.
And the first Dark Souls is getting remastered to the Switch, which means Solaire might be coming to Smash.
So random Dark Souls main character is gonna because you create your own character in Dark Souls.
I like Villager.
Here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll say about characters. Banjo-Kazooie, who's not gonna be in Smash, would be a better fit for Smash than who the hell was it? Crash Bandicoot? No, Crash Bandicoot. Crash Bandicoot would not be a good fit for Smash. Banjo and Kazooie would be a better fit in Smash. Hell, I'd rather have Yuka and Laylee in there before Crash Bandicoot.
Oh, stop.
How's it going, Dragon Swords? What's happening?
Did I come in late?
You did, but we did. Introduce yourself. We have a topic from one of our viewers.
It was the whole ranting about how third-party games getting ports on the Switch equals characters from those games coming to Smash 5.
Yeah, we have a rant topic, but before we get further on to the rant topic, we have a comment here from 8Ball1970. Good evening, BS Busters. Did anyone check out the Toys R Us liquidation sale last week?
Sadly,
I did not. I've heard about the news. I didn't actually follow up on what was going on over there. So,
yeah, I didn't. Yeah, and I'll tell you why I didn't. But let me get to the rest of the question. I went to the nearby store in North Miami Beach. 5% off on consoles and 10% off on games and accessories. That's not a sale. First of all, that's not a
5% off.
No, 5% off of the consoles and 10% off of the accessories. That's not a sale.
You know what? For me, if it's a sale, I would think there would be 25% off from the at least.
Where I am, the Toys R Us where I am that's having this liquidation sale is 30% off. But here's my point. First of all, when a business says that they're doing a liquidation, going out of business sale, it's not a sale. You know what they do? The liquidators come in when a company declares bankruptcy, and they raise the prices up like 200, 100%. They double the prices, and then they say we're doing 30% off. So even if you think I'm getting a deal on this, they're still making money because they raised the prices before they did the 30, 20, 40% off. So that's not a sale.
I see.
And
I also heard that KB Toys is rising from the dead after Toys R Us bankruptcy.
No, KB Stores is dead. The name has been rebranded and the name has gone on, but KB is dead. Ironically, here's a little bit of history for you guys. Anyone know Mitt Romney?
Yep.
Oh,
yeah, Mitt Romney's company, Bain Capital, loved doing leverage buyouts, which is where a company goes in and basically raids an investment firm goes in and raids the company that they bought. They raise the prices. They take all the cash they can find that isn't nailed down. They tank the company, and they jump off the ship just as it's sinking in order to do it again to another business. KB Toys back in the day.
they're vampires.
Yeah, KB Toys back in the day or they're corporate raiders is what they call them. Bain Capital back in the day did the same thing to KB Toys. KB Toys is dead. What you see now is just the name brand, like Atari. Atari, the console maker, the game maker, doesn't exist anymore. It's just a name. That's KB Toys. So KB Toys is dead. You're just seeing the name, you know. And I mean, like, here's the thing: in the age of Amazon, do we really need toy stores?
To be
I would
honest with
say
you,
yeah.
I
Maybe
say
not as
yes, because
much.
there's some people that actually like to have something like a LGS.
Well, yeah, if you're a little kid, or you are like, or you like looking at the toys and seeing how they do stuff, but in the age of Amazon, where you can go and you can put in exactly what you're looking for, find it, have it delivered straight to your house. Like, do I really want to go to a store and have, like, look at a toy that all these kids have had their hands on, and, you know, kid might have a cold snot all on their hands. They were touching that Joe I wanted. Do I really want to deal with that?
Hey, some people would say, even
Well,
with all of that, some people would still would like to go there and see it with
on the
their own eyes. But
Yeah,
yes,
I know.
I can see that. And to top it on that is yeah, I wish I wish Toys R Us actually had a website, you know, that and a mail order that they could have done the same thing what Amazon did.
They do have their web. Toys R Us does have its own website and
They-
has online.
Yeah, but they didn't deliver. They delivered to the store, and you have to go pick it up at the store. For me, Toys R Us was always kind of like more expensive than everyone else. Like, their prices were always like 5 to 10% higher than anyone else. So I mean, like, it's sad because, like, I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I grew up with Toys R Us. Like, when I was a little kid.
Same here.
Yeah, we had an equivalent down here.
Yeah, like I mean, Toys R Us was like, what, a 75-year-old company. It's sad. I mean, you wouldn't think, but I mean, everyone thinks, well, Toys R Us died because of because of Amazon and stuff like that, and Walmart and Target. Not really. What killed Toys R Us was that they had a leveraged buyout, kind of like with KB, where they bought themselves and they were spent, like, and went into a massive amount of debt because of a leveraged buyout, because these fucking investors came in and corporately raided the company. And so they couldn't put money.
I'm not surprised.
They couldn't put money into upgrading the
Infrastructure.
Yeah, the infrastructure. Because I mean, like, I don't go in Toys R Us. Like, I go into Toys R Us. I went into Toys R Us maybe once every 4 or 5 years. Not for me, but because I have cousins and nieces and nephews and friends of the family that are kids that kind of want toys. And I would go in there, and I, like, literally, like, you would go into Toys R Us, and it felt like I was like a 5-year-old again, and not in a good way. Like, the stores had not changed since I was for like 27 years. I was like, what the hell is this shit? Like, I mean, because you would think it's kind of like how you know a Kmart is how I knew Kmart was going out of business, because you go into Kmart and it felt like it was 1991 in the Kmart, and not in a good way. It's like, this shit is ridiculous.
That actually made things a little bit easier to actually find what you're looking for, but that's also a double-edged sword, and also that's kind of sad when you know that the people that bought shares actually were just vampires, just sucking the coin out.
Yeah, another reason to stay private, people.
Well, Kmart went out of business because they merged with Sears, which was also not doing well, and they made a lot of bad financial decisions like 30, 40, 50 years ago. Yeah, Sears. Yeah, Sears, Roebuck, and Kmart.
I was saying merged. Sears is the one that was making the bad decisions.
No, Kmart made a bad decision because they let themselves get bought out by Sears. That's a bad decision.
That was their first bad decision that it basically ended them all.
Now I'm hearing news that Sears may be going bankrupt in the future as well.
Yeah, and it's sad because Sears Roebuck is a over 100-year-old company, and it's, tell you, man, it's sad.
Yeah, I remember they used to sell video games.
Yes, they did.
But now they don't.
Sears used to have a Nintendo corner. Like, you could go in there and you could get Nintendo games, you could demo the games, you could test them out. They actually had trained personnel who would actually you could ask them questions and they would answer them legitimately. I wish more video and I see what you wrote there, Joel, about the local game store, but there are mom and pop game stores that are making a resurgence. Like the big budget retailers aren't making a lot of money, like Toys R Us, Walmart, Target. GameStop. Well, GameStop's not really GameStop's not really what I call a local game store. Like they model themselves like that, but they aren't. They're more like they want to have their cake and eat it too. They want to be a huge corporation, but they also want to kind of act like the way they order shit is like a local game store, but it's not the same thing. Because they make their money off of used game sales. That's how they make their money. That's their circle of life, as they like to call it. But yeah, we kind of devolved into a business cast a little bit on this one. But the thing is like mom and pop gaming stores are actually doing well. Like mom and pop toy stores that have smaller inventories, but they know the target audience. And if you go in there and say, I want this, they can order it for you. They're doing fine. They're making money. So
in other words, the mom and pops are not bloated.
Yeah, and the mom and pops don't screw you over like Toys R Us did. Like I said, all the Toys R Us stuff was more expensive. Their action figures were more expensive. Their toys were more expensive. And the thing is, like, Toys R Us's business model was outdated because basically Toys R Us always had shit in stock, which is cool when you have a hot item. But here's the problem. Like, toys aren't selling like they used to. Like, who the hell is buying a $150 AT-ST Walker today?
Only collectors, as far as I know.
And collectors can't sustain a market.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a collector. You can't sustain a market off of people like me. Because first of all, I'm not buying a $150 AT-ST Walker. You can go, well, I won't say it, but
now you would think because of that 5%, that 5% hike, you would think that'd be at like for the service, but yeah, like you said, it's not even that.
No, the 5% hike was so that they could keep it in stock because they would buy like a huge amount of stock, so they basically would do that overhead so that they'd keep it on the shelf. Triple M, your connection.
Now you know that now that kind of please no. How am I doing?
Better.
You're doing better.
Okay, good. Hopefully this stays that way. But yeah, as I was saying, now this comes to mind that the whole thing about people are blaming Nintendo for understocking their products. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Exhibit A, Toys R Us overstocked. Well, now they're being bankrupt.
Well, the reason Toys R Us is going out of business has nothing to do with them overstocking. They're two completely different things. The reason they're going out of business is because they couldn't afford to compete with their competitors because the profit that they would generate was going to paying down their debt and not to upgrading their stores. So they couldn't compete.
Yeah, but I would say that. Let's just say that's the whole overstock is maybe a small icing on the proverbial cake.
Not really. I mean, like if you're a parent and you absolutely have to have that new Darth Vader toy, you want to know it's in stock, especially if it's a hot item. So you could go to Toys R Us and they would more often than not have it in stock because they ordered enough. Like, I mean, that's a good business model if you're a toy company and there's hot things. But the thing is like a lot of trends have changed and a lot of toys aren't selling like they used to. Like when I was a kid, like not like a little kid, but I remember like the Furby craze and the Cabbage Patch phase and craze.
Oh my gosh, I remember those.
And Tickle Me Elmo and those wizard and those Harry Potter wands that were vibrators. Parents got mad. The vibrating, not the wands, the broomsticks, the nimbuses. That vibrated, That's sad. But like I remember when those were really hot items.
Sad, man.
Yeah, like I remember those items were really important. Like it's good. Okay, it's good to have because how many times have I've gone to stores like small mom and pops and shit hasn't been in stock. It's good that there are places where shit will be in stock. Hell, I've gone to Walmart and tried to get really big games that I wanted that were like JRPGs, and it wasn't in stock because they don't do that. So like the process of having stuff in stock and charging a little bit more isn't that bad of a thing. Now, Babies R Us is a ripoff. Everything at Babies R Us is like 20 to 30% more expensive.
Oh, I can see. Okay, I can. Yeah.
Yeah. Look. Toys R Us got a million problems, but overstocking was not one of them. To quote Jay-Z, I got a million problems, but a bitch ain't one. But yeah. But anyway. Yeah. That kind of got a little business casty. Those of you who are listening, I'm glad you learned a little bit of something. A little something, whatever.
Kind of ripped my heart out, but yeah.
But yeah, the local game stores, the mom and pops are doing fine because they can target their audience. But when you're a big store, you have to cater to a larger audience, so it's harder. It's more difficult. It's like I might
say that Toys R Us for some places was the LGS.
Well, yeah, for some people. I mean, I'm just gonna say, just for me personally, Amazon and eBay are so much better because I can just get the shit shipped to my house, and I don't have to go and deal with people. I don't because I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, when I was younger, I wanted people to ask me if they could help me. But now when I go to the store, I know exactly what I'm looking for. I looked it up. I did the research on it. You guys better have it. If you don't, fuck you. I'll go someplace else. Like, I don't want people, can I help you? No. Leave me alone. I'm looking for something. Yeah. It's weird. It's
yeah,
weird.
I kind of have that very same mentality.
Like if I'm going to buy a game, I guess this is GameStop fever because I get tired of GameStop always trying to upsell me on shit I don't want. They're like, hey, you want to get a Call of Duty game? Look, man, you see this T-shirt? It says Nintendo Power on it. I have a Nintendo hat on. What the fuck makes you think I want Call of Duty?
Oh, you just made him mad.
For the PS4. Or they try to, hey, you want Battlefront 2? No.
I probably think you
take that game and shove it up your ass now.
Think you have another console, eh?
I have a Well, here's the thing. I have a PC and a Switch, so I'm good. Like I'm pretty much getting everything I want. The only games I'm missing are the PS4 exclusives, and some of those are lackluster as fuck. So I'm okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do I really need the God of War reboot that doesn't play like God of War? But I think that was my rant. So who wants to rant next?
I could go into one myself.
Okay.
And that is?
So this is the one specific company. And you probably get it already. EA.
Oh boy.
Why the Hades do you think that you can just sweep your problems under the rug, saying that we are understanding of our customers after putting out so much tripe that you almost got legislation involved in the entire gaming system? Do you understand that with stuff like this, we almost have to be very careful about which games are coming out now, especially on games that are supposed to be at best $60 experiences, and you put in stupid stuff like your trading card game that has no beeping sense of all tactics as far as what game is concerned, just so you could make some more green.
Well, they are greedy bastards, so
Yes, they are green, as in greed. But it makes me see red every time they do something so stupid like this that makes me wonder if they're even thinking. But then again, it reminds me, oh wait, this is EA, and the people that are at the helm don't know how to steer ship through ramen.
I mean, it's EA. I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, they're shitty people. They're a shitty company.
I was just hoping that
They're
they have
arrogant.
at least some kind of intelligence to know that they screwed up.
No, because as long as they're making money, they're happy. I mean, I don't give them money. I do not give them money if I
That's
can.
the thing.
You know,
Smart people know when to not give money.
yeah, but
And
you can't look. These are the people who buy FIFA and Madden every year, year over year, no matter what. I mean,
oh boy,
they trade in their last gen shit to get their the next iteration. Like, well, I got to get Madden, whatever.
even though it's only a minor graphical upgrade, minor details to put in there, and basically the same trash trading system.
Yep, because they want to get your money. The only way EA will change is if gamers on the whole just stop buying their games. Like, just for a year, don't buy any EA games. No microtransactions, don't buy their games. If you do that for one whole year, EA will get the message. Or, you know, we have regulation against their shitty microtransaction loot boxes, which some people are like, no, that'll mess with the industry. Cigarette industry got regulated, and a lot of them went out of business. But fuck them, they were selling cancer sticks. And if you're a game company and you're fucking making basically legalized gambling, well, not really legal, gray area gambling. Fuck you. You shouldn't be able to make money off of people's addictions. I'm sorry.
Yes, especially if you're making them pay to get in there in the first place.
Yeah, especially if you're specifically making the shit to be addictive. You know, man, I'm specifically making this shit to be a roulette wheel. So you have to give us money.
Though a little bit of a side note, this brings me into the gray area of card games, which some of you might know already. And how the Hades do you say that it's not gambling when the basics of the game is to basically collect cards and trade them, or at least attempt to risk what you earn in order to gain those cards,
or build up your own deck.
I don't know. As someone who was really into Star Wars, the trading card game, like, I don't know.
At least I asked that because that's what would happen if there was regulations on such loot boxes.
Yeah, I just think there needs to be regulation on the loot boxes. Like and people are like, well, let the industry regulate themselves, like they did, where they're just like, oh, we'll slap a label and say, hey, this game has gambling.
This is from the same people that try to keep you from. This is from the same people that try to say the following game is rated T for teen for graphical violence and mild insults.
Wouldn't be surprised. There'd be some overabundance of taxes coming in.
I'm gonna keep it real. The only regulation that the industry can do that would give me some type of solace is if they said you can turn off the microtransactions. Like if someone's playing this game and you have microtransactions turned off, they can't do them. That would be acceptable. But they're not going to do that because instead of making a solid product, keeping their budgets under fucking control, and trying to sell a certain amount, they want to basically fuck you over with
Grab all the
microtransactions,
green in the world,
which is shady, and I'm not cool with it. So F them, as far as I'm concerned. That's my own personal opinion. I could be wrong.
that at least I could get off my chest pretty nicely. Thank you very much.
So who wants to go next?
You know what? Let me go.
Triple M, you have a pet peeve? You want to get off your chest? It's been a while since you.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's something quite recent.
Okay.
It's becoming very apparent recently. It's the high frequency of abundant PR disasters.
Okay.
And this recent one is from actually I have a nitpick with Falcon, who's doing the E series, which I don't know why you have to say that we have consumers that goes for high performance systems. I'm like, really? You're gonna go that? I mean, we've got some at least consumers of RPGs, yeah, role playing games that they care if the if those machines are either high performance or not. If the game comes, they would go for it. But yeah, the recent one that really that was a face point for me right there. I mean, why would you say that? But then there's this one about the game. I think it was it No Way Out, or was it it was No Way Out from EA. Anyone remembers about that dude that went on the award show and just say F the Oscars? Well, yeah, he was one of the creators, but he's not the one that was doing the PR. It was somebody else. And for some reason, you know what? The first half of the article, or of its quotes, it was okay. I was actually okay with it. They were like, they were so far in development with the game that when they finally knew about the Switch, that it would take maybe too much to actually incorporate such a game for the Switch. And I was like, okay, I get that. Late in the development cycle, not enough time. Maybe could have increased the budget.
And then they say the following: that they need an extra controller in order to do it.
I was
Just
like
every other
excuse
stuff.
me? Then wouldn't that be with every other consoles that came to this date?
Yep.
And I'm like, you know what? I can see why you're saying that, because probably the Xbox One X, say Xbox One, and the PlayStation 4 and / Pro, yeah, they came like what, 4 years ago. So yes, there's a possibility that everyone could, well, majority would have a second controller, but I guess you didn't take account that every launch period, I have not. And someone, please give me evidence. I have not seen a box art where they actually had 2 controllers on it, or an extra controller came with the console. The only time I've seen that, if they were in bundles.
Yeah.
So this person, you mean to tell me that you could think of that? It was.
Yeah, but
It was.
I think
I was like, this is worse than what happened with that guy that said there's not enough buttons on the Switch for lawbreakers.
I think that's aside from the point. I mean, from what I've seen of A Way Out, it's not a very good game. It's kind of rough around the edges.
Actually, that's the thing. I wouldn't even care if it was a bad or a good game. Just by that statement alone, I'm like, brain explodes.
I mean, that's the first thing. Second thing, I'm not really surprised. This is the same studio that had a dude come out on national. Well, it wasn't national TV, but basically it was worldwide because you could stream that worldwide unless it was blocked in your country. So mostly worldwide. And he said, "Fuck the Oscar."
Yeah.
I mean, what do you expect? I mean, you know, look, once someone is sitting there cussing out, once someone's cussing out the Oscars, an institution that's been around for almost 100 years.
Yeah, it's 90 years. Point.
Yeah, almost 100 years, and your shit's only been around for like 30, and you're sitting there like, I think what you need to do is shut the fuck up, bro. That's what you need to do.
I was like, EA, it's bad enough that you're in this current position, but please keep a leash on your PR.
You know what that's like? You know, but then the dude was like, "Hey man, EA fucks up. Everybody fucks up." I'm like, dude, you're not helping. You're not helping. Like, Jeff Keighley, like, do you see that look on Jeff Keighley's face?
That guy is the funniest thing that I ever seen from the VGAs.
He's like, if the floor could open up and I could crawl underneath it, please, Jesus, let this segment end. Please, Jesus. Please, Jesus, Jesus.
I was like, I see where this dude is coming from, but the way he said it, that's not helping, man.
Yeah, I mean, this is what happens when you let the developers do their own PR. It's like no one learned a lesson from Sony with No Man's Sky.
I was about to say, that guy was inebriated on top of that, too.
Sean Layton. They're like, "Hey, Sean Layton. Not Sean Murray. Sean Murray. So, does this game have multiplayer?" He's like, yes. Will this game get my wife to do certain things in the bedroom that I like? Yes. Sean Murray, will this game teach my kid how to do trigonometry and pre-calculus? Yes. like Sean Murray, does this game will I be able to play alongside my friend? Yes. Metaphorically speaking, if you're playing the same, if your friend has a copy and you have a copy, you can play together at the same time. Yeah.
And you know what's the sad part? You have to say that to a console that is literally built for couch multiplayer. Really?
Yeah, but look, listen, I don't really want that shitty game on my console. Like, here's the thing: the Switch has enough games. Okay, the Switch has enough games. We don't need
ports.
Even with the ports, it has enough games. Like, I mean, in games that eat up a huge amount of your time, like you've got this awesome JRPG, you've got Mario Odyssey, you've got Breath of the Wild, even just the Nintendo stuff. I really don't need third-party stuff. I really don't, especially not from EA, because fuck EA.
I was going to say, unless you pull off something unique to Switch, you might as well be Destiny 2 at this point.
I don't know. I'm not getting
gosh.
It. To hell with all of them. But you're right. The PR disasters are getting a little out of control. The guy who said that the Falcom people, they need to shut the fuck up because they've been putting East games on the PSP and the Vita, and those are not powerhouse systems. I'm sorry, they're not.
Yeah, you know what? Speaking about that, yeah, on the PlayStation Vita, and that's not actually the most powerful. You're not, but the entirety of the industry when it comes to these products, yeah, that's like a big bottom of the barrel when you're comparing to other types of machines or technologies or products that you can play games on.
Not
So
even that,
yes,
but that's
don't give
just
me that
stupid.
BS.
That's just stupid because like literally, if you're putting your East games on the PSP or on the Vita, which has an install base of like 21 million, and you're ignoring the 3DS, which has an install base of like 70 million, you're just leaving money on the table. That's money you could have right there. And I know not every Vita person is getting East games, so don't give me that shit.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
how much logic does it take for you to see where the product is gonna be able to punch if you're going onto a certain system?
No, they're just full of shit. They're just totally full of shit. I mean, like here's the thing. Look, listen. I know as a business you have to hype things up. Like, you know,
There's
like
good PR and bad PR.
I've
Right?
had to hype up ladies' night, $5 Fridays, where we have tapas plates where you get a normal beer and 2 tapas plates for like $5. I get hyping up shit. $5 Fridays, great. Hype up, want to make money, boom. But seriously though,
As I said, there's good PR and bad PR.
I mean, how are you gonna hype up some shit like? How are you gonna blatantly say? How are you gonna hype up how stupid your business plan is? Hey man, we're going for power. Yeah, but you have a bigger install base on the 3DS than you do on the Vita. Shut up, power. Okay. All right.
And on top of that, what your visually how your product how your product looks, it doesn't look like it needs a demanding powerhouse of a handheld or console.
And not only that,
That's another thing.
If they were really going for the power argument, then they should only be on PC. I mean, if you really want the most, because PC is the most powerful. It also has the largest install base. So why are you? You just kind of stupid, aren't you? No wonder East was never in the same league as a Final Fantasy or Dragon Quest, because you got this stupid motherfucker leading your company. That's your problem. Sorry. Was that a bridge too far?
Then again, let me be clear. We're not saying that we're segmenting the handheld portion of the market with the console portion and PC. No, how he said it, all of them comes together.
No, I'm just saying he was saying that our customers want a more powerful. I think it was a miss.
No, I know that. It's just
I think what he was
wanting.
I know
that. I'm just saying that. I'm just saying that because I know for a fact there's gonna be people that's gonna come out and say, "Nah, he's just mentioning about the handheld market or the console market or the PC market." This is the entire industry. It's all of them covered.
You know what I think? I think the reason he said that shit is because, like, I think that there is this huge audience of East people that have been playing them on lower end type of systems, like on the PSP and the Vita, and ports of those games on PC, which are not very graphically demanding at all. Because I have like 3 East games on. You can get them off of Good Old Games. They're not expensive games. They're not very graphically intense, and they're ports of the fucking Vita and PSP games. So, I mean, what I'm saying is that I think maybe he's like, people want an East game that has grander ambitions and uses a larger swath of technology available to more powerful devices. And I can understand that, but here's the problem. Name a system that started on a lower end spectrum where the lower end is outperformed sales-wise than the higher end. You can't. I mean, look at Pokemon. Have any of the console Pokemon games sold better than the handhelds?
Nope.
Nope.
It makes me wonder why people keep on crying for the Switch to be the next evolution of Pokemon.
Well, I can tell you right now that even if the next Pokemon game You know, and this is a big grain of salt. Even if the next Pokemon game comes to the Switch, it's still not going to sell as well as the handheld Pokemon games. It's just not. Okay.
Top of yeah. Also, on top of that, what made what made that portion of the interview really bad is, well, another franchise from that same company, Falcon, that they announced afterwards. They announced that, another franchise of theirs that was it Altair or Altair? Oh crap! I forgot the name. That game is coming to the Switch. I'm like, oh wow, this announcement really made that producer of the East game look really bad right now.
Yeah, I just think they're full of shit. Or either that, or he just was not very good at talking about stuff. So, which is probably it probably was, it probably was a combination of both. Any other rants anyone else wants to get out? I know Pinky Don got his, Jewel got hers, Triple M got his.
Dragon Sword.
Yeah, I kind of got mine earlier. Dragon Sword, you have a rant you want to get off your chest?
Maybe not exactly. And I guess the one that kind of gave away was the whole like Pokemon on the Switch, and people were saying, "Oh yeah, once Pokemon comes on Switch, things will get intense." It's like, okay, do you know what the heck you're talking about?
Let me put it this way: if Game Freak announces they're making 2 versions of the game for Switch, then we'll know, yeah, that's Pokemon for Switch. If it's just one game, yeah, don't count on it. Just don't. Mm-mm.
You'd be better off seeing Destiny, the Destiny series go on to Nintendo systems, or Starlight Forbid Halo.
Yeah, but Destiny could come into a Nintendo system. There's nothing that says it couldn't. Halo, I mean, the way Microsoft is going with their IPs, shit.
Now that we know that
there's more of a chance for those to happen than Pokemon.
Now that we know that the 3DS will be getting games in 2019, there's a good chance that Gen 8 will be coming out on 2019 for the 3DS or 2020.
That'd be a nice swan song. Personally, here's what I think. I think Nintendo is going to support the 3DS from maybe till 2020, calendar year wise, not like because their fiscal year is going to go from 2019 to 2020, and I think they'll support it, and then I think they'll come out with their new handheld. And I don't think the Switch is their new handheld.
Oh really? You're actually putting an extra year than what Liger said.
No, because their fiscal year, Nintendo's fiscal year for this year doesn't end until like I think it ends this month. So their fiscal year for 2018 ends in March something 2019. You get what I'm saying? So they'll probably support the 3DS for another.
You're right.
Yeah, they'll probably support the Switch. I mean, the 3DS for another, like technically kind of a year for us, but for them it's going to be their fiscal year, and then they'll probably introduce the next handheld. I think that their next handheld is not going to be the Switch, because the Switch is too fucking expensive. Just to like, no one is just casually going and buying a Switch, whereas I can go casually buy a 3DS or a 2DS. Like it's nothing to me to buy one.
Yeah, you're right. The fiscal year does end in March.
Yeah. So that's what I think. That's my own personal opinion. I'm not right, but you're right, Dragon Sword. The install base for the 3DS is so high, it doesn't make sense for Pokemon to just screw that up. And whatever the next handheld is going to be, it's going to be compatible with the 3DS. I guarantee it. Because they want to keep that 70 million strong, you know.
I guess I got a question. How much powerful would the next, or the next possible handheld be, I guess, compared to previous?
It'll probably be a Wii U in your hand.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, which, I mean, the Switch is kind of a Wii U in your hand, but it's not really compatible with the 3DS, and I think Nintendo likes that backwards compatibility with their handhelds, because then they don't have to work as hard to put games out just for that handheld. And it also creates 2 different revenue streams, which helps you make more money. It's like if you own a business and you only make money off of one thing, if that one thing goes down, you're screwed. So I think in Nintendo's case, they want to keep as many revenue streams going as humanly possible. So yeah, I think that the Switch will. I think the Switch is going to be their home console / portable home console, and I think they'll come out with a handheld that's probably going to be, I say, like at the highest end maybe $200, at the lower end maybe $150, maybe $130 on sale, and that's going to be their new handheld. It's going to be like it'll probably be 3DS backwards compatible. It might not have 3D. It might, I don't know, but this is just my own speculation. I could be wrong. I don't know. Just my own.
I mean, what I was kind of thinking is that the next handheld could possibly, I guess, be the conversions because of how the dock is priced at nearly $100. So maybe I guess then the Switch Plus there would be an option for it.
The dock doesn't have any processing power. The dock just basically overclocks it so that it can run well on your TV. It doesn't really do anything else. I mean, there's no processing ability in it. Like everything is in the handheld. And like I said, I mean, the Switch is so fucking expensive. It's not something you can just casually go out and get. Like I have like 3 3DSs, and I thought nothing about getting a new one. Like if someone said, "Hey man, if you want to play this game, you need a second Switch," I'm like, I don't feel like spending $300 something on another one. You know what I'm saying? So like like if the price of the Switch goes down, maybe, but I don't see Nintendo cutting off their revenue stream like that.
They would keep it as still possible, like the Wii U.
Like the Wii U never went down in price, so yeah.
I mean, they were flexible when it came to the handheld, but the Wii U, no way.
Yeah, can't let that dual screen go away either.
Yeah. Personally, I want them to bring back the Game Boy. Bring back the Game Boy, and I don't care.
Maybe
like that's sexist to call it a Game Boy.
Maybe
that's what we called it.
Maybe just. Okay, maybe just by name. Bring back the name.
Yeah, bring back the not physically the Game Boy, but just call it the new device. Just call it the Game Boy. Call it the Giga Game Boy. And that's the new system. Is the Giga Game Boy. Because we had the Game Boy, we had the Super Game Boy, we had the Mega Game Boy, which was the Game Boy Advance. Then just skip, just go to Giga, the Giga Game Boy. But yeah, that's my little. We're almost at the end of the podcast. Anything you guys want to pimp out before we wrap things up?
Yes, I do. Did anyone hear about the patent Nintendo has involving trading cards and NFC similar to Amiibo?
Makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I've only seen pictures and title of it. I didn't exactly went through the article, so to be honest, I'm not really surprised Nintendo would do something like that. I mean,
I'm expecting it to be revealed this year's E3.
Yeah, probably. And people like me will not give a shit. So other people might care. So whatever.
Yeah, I'll take a gander at that. It might be something interesting. Or yeah, like Red.
For me,
nothing much.
For me, the only thing that would be cool is if they basically made card like for people who can't get the physical Amiibo, they make the card versions.
Yeah, the Amiibo cards.
Like that'd be cool. It's like, hey, I can't get the Squid Girl Amiibo, but guess what? I got the Squid Girl Amiibo cards. Same shit for. I got a deck of them that has all of them for like $20. That'd be cool, but
also, if this would actually happen, Konami, you got to do something with Yu-Gi-Oh. At least like with this, this is perfect for Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yu-Gi-Oh Amiibo, that'd be cool. But
Well,
they'd
not Amiibo.
have to work with Nintendo, and Konami's been acting like morons lately when it comes to the big end.
Yeah, it's their choice. Like,
You know,
it's like
And
Nintendo
before they-
opened the avenue. Konami, the ball is in your park to actually make the choice and do something with it, or you can not do anything, which would.
well, before they do something with Yu-Gi-Oh, they need to do something with Suikoden, Castlevania, Mystical Ninja, aka Goemon,
Oh, come
They
on.
got a lot of
Gradius,
franchises.
Contra.
You're asking too much, man. It's like you said, this is Konami we're talking about.
No, Yu-Gi-Oh is way down that list before they get to. For me personally, I'm like, look, I want to see a Mystical Ninja game. If you can't get that shit right, I don't trust anything else. Mystical Ninja. Yes, I'm a Mystical Ninja fanboy. Okay, I said it.
I see your point.
So,
Wait, that's actually older than Yu-Gi-Oh.
I mean, I like Yu-Gi-Oh, but
And continuing on the whole third parties porting games onto the Switch, there's another one that I didn't expect to get a port onto the Switch at all. Higurashi no Naku Koro no Hao, a visual novel, which is also famous for its anime adaptation with its song "When They Cry." You probably heard of it before, back in the early days of YouTube, with its AMVs.
yeah, it wasn't on YouTube. I think that's that thing where they used to when people used to do ROM hacking, they used to put that song in the ROM hack. It's actually a pretty catchy little song.
And also melodramatic, pretty sad sounding.
But I think we're thinking about two different songs. The one I'm talking about is very J-poppy.
Let's see, I can find a video of it. So
I don't need. I'm just saying. I think we're thinking about the two different things, but that's okay.
Okay.
So, anything else anyone else want to pimp out before we wrap things up?
And the original Punch-Out arcade game is coming next week.
I guess that's cool. Anything else?
We're good. I'm good here.
All right, Dragon
Yeah,
Swords.
got
Anything
nothing.
you want to pimp out?
I guess the Sea of Thieves reviews, if anybody seen it, yeah.
I've seen a few of the scores. I've read a few of the reviews.
It's not impressive as far as I see it.
From what I've seen, from what I've heard from people, I've heard that it's an okay game, but it feels kind of incomplete. Kind of like a disguised early release game that they're gonna make better in the future.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't that remind you of No Man's Sky?
Yeah, kind of like that. It's like, well, it'll get better in the future. But here's the problem, right? I was like, this is Rare. Rare's back. I'm like, come on, this is not. Come on, baby. I grew up with Rare. This shit's not a Rare game. Rare is dead. Just let it go. They're dead.
I would say this is the new incarnation of Rare. But like you said, this is not the same Rare that we would know.
Yeah, it's Rare, the shit pile. The shit pile Rare. But yeah, that's my own little thing. So with that being said, I think we've wrapped things up. We were joined by an old favorite of the channel, one of the founders of BS Busters, my co-host, my original co-host, Triple M. We hope he can make more of these. We moved it. It used to be 7. Now
I'll try. I will try.
Yeah, do the best you can. If you can't, take care of yourself. But when you get a chance, come on in. We always enjoy having you. So with that being said, anyone have anything else they want to pimp out before we wrap things up?
Nope.
Oh, we're all right.
Okay. I'll probably have some footage coming out this week of Ni no Kuni 2, which I have on PC because I've been really been in, like, literally, I went out from one JRPG, walked into another one. This has been a good year for me.
And you've been dungeoneering, apparently.
Yeah, and Dungeoneers, but yeah, look, what can I say? I love RPGs. So with that being said, good night, peace out, enjoy, and if you see bullshit, there's only one thing you can do: bust it.
Don't pour OJ on it.